What's up, everybody? We are live with the MMA Mainstream Podcast. I'm James, of course, joined by my co-host Kaelyn. Kaelyn, it's Friday. How's it going?
It is. It's another Friday, so it's good.
Of course, leading right into the weekend.
Yep.
And of course, we're here to talk about MMA. Right now, actually, one championship is going on Amazon. I actually saw that when I logged into my streaming service, and I was like, "Oh,
Good.
that's tonight. All right, I'm gonna watch that." So
I'm glad they're advertising that.
exactly. I mean, they should. They probably paid a lot of money to do that, so they need to be pushing that a lot. And who was on the card? I believe it was Demetrius Johnson is on the card competing.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I forget that he's in one championship sometimes.
Forgive my pronunciation. Rodtang.
Yeah.
I believe he is competing. Yeah, he's competing tonight also.
Nice.
So some well-known names in the combat world that a lot of us are interested in. So I'll definitely be checking that out later on after our podcast and after we do our thing. But let's go ahead and get into it. UFC last week. Kamaru Usman. Wow. I don't think a lot of us, it was really a shock. Because I don't think a lot of us expected him to lose because he's such a phenomenal athlete and such a phenomenal fighter.
Yeah, I could not believe I was not able to watch it. I was on vacation and I was camping, so I did not have internet or anything. But yeah, I cannot believe I read that when I saw the notification. I mean, you can't count out anybody,
No.
but someone like Kamaru Usman, who's always been at the top in every single performance, was like epic, or rarely very, very good, very competitive in all of his fights. Has some great knockouts. I can't believe he got knocked out. But also
is when you look, yeah, it was late in the fifth, not middle, not beginning, late.
Yeah, so it's like it was almost over, you would think, and then I don't know. I mean, you can't blame him for maybe getting tired, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, but he's a machine. So I don't know if, unfortunately we didn't happen to catch the fight. We did catch the highlights. Yet I'm curious if he coasted at the end because he thought he had it.
That's the problem with not being able to see that fight. But I heard it was actually the other way around. He was doing very well, is what I heard.
And when you look at the stats, like his total striking was nuts, and so were his takedowns. 5 takedowns to 1.
Of course, yeah.
Oh, holy moly! Like,
man,
wow.
I don't know, and I don't know. Leon Edwards is just one of those guys that can withstand all that and then still keep throwing. And I guess caught him with his hands down, or just it didn't even really seem like he looked that tired. It just it was a split second and his shin was in his face.
And done. That was a wrap.
Oh, man.
Now, question for going on. They each have a win against each other. Dana White was talking about possibly doing the third fight in Wembley Stadium.
I think they should. I think that's fair.
I think so too, because that's also I believe Leon Edwards is from the UK. Yeah. So that would be in his backyard.
And you know what? Great. Over there, those fights are always good when they have those fight cards over there. I don't know why, but they're always good over there. But I think, and I've seen words from Kamaru Usman. He definitely wants the rematch. He'll said he'll do it wherever, and he'll just do it, whatever he has to do. And he doesn't seem like he's down and out. He seems like, I fucked up type of thing, and I want to come back, and I hope so. It sucks when someone who's been on top for so long loses their belt. Kind of like Amanda Nunes, that whole situation. She's been on top forever.
And Amanda Nunes bounced back pretty well.
And yeah, well, she definitely proved herself all over again, and then some, but man, that you have such that long record, and then all of a sudden it's gone. And
from what I was reading, it was a relief for him to lose because
I hate when they say that.
But that bubble was popped. So now there isn't that pressure that there once was, because as he masked this record of just straight wins, Like,
I know, but what are you there for? You know, like, that reminds me of like Rose Namajunas when she said how same thing. It's such a relief. It's like, okay, I get, like, do you hate your job? I mean, I don't know. I don't like when people say that. It's like, yeah, you're relieved, but it's like, that's not what you're there for. You're there to stay on top, and you know, it's a fight, so anything can happen,
or
and it does.
stay on top as long as you possibly can.
But you got that long record, like say like a GSP. You know, you go so long with all
Anderson
these wins.
Silva's another one.
I think didn't he break Anderson Silva's record for what was it, title defenses or win?
I think he came close. I don't think he did.
I think he was about to.
Yeah.
I think he was like one away or
I
something
think with
like
this
that.
win, he may have tied it, but I think with this, it was going to go over.
Gosh, man, it's so sad to see someone. I always love seeing people keep their belts, and it's like, but the good thing is that he's still young. He still got it. It's not like he's done, or you know, it wasn't like an obvious thing where he was done. He even said like, you know, sometime we fuck up. So yeah, I guess so. I just hate when people say the pressure's off now. It's like, well, that sucks.
A certain level of pressure is off, but now here the thing is the return, and that's also something else that was commented on is his when he comes back. Will he be gun shy?
I don't know.
To not think so, but yet there are quite a few fighters that have lost by knockout and they really become gun shy and really hesitate to throw down in striking.
I don't see him as someone that would be like that. I don't know. You know, I think maybe it'd be different if he got knocked out in the first round, but he went the entire fight. And
yeah, he went deep into that fight.
From the looks of it, it sounded like he was doing just fine until the very end, which may be a tired type of issue. I don't know.
And then he got caught.
But really, I mean, looking at the highlight, it didn't even look like his hand wasn't even down for that long. It was like a split second or something like that, and he just got caught. But I don't think he's anywhere near done, or I don't think when he comes back it'll be different. I think he'll be the same, maybe even a hell of a lot better. So we'll see. I know Leon Edwards, no one ever really talks about him or cares about him for whatever reason.
Unfortunately.
But some of the people that did pay attention to him, they said, this is the guy you're going to have to look out for. But then no one listened because, of course, you know, because then time went by, nothing happened. And then all of a sudden, now look who
he shocked the world.
Yeah. Yeah. And out of all champions to lose, I didn't see Kamaru as one of them that would lose anytime soon because of his stamina and his energy and how it's been. He's just kind of established his reputation as being someone that you're never going to beat, you know? He has epic knockouts over a lot of people. It's crazy that he got knocked out.
Very true. And I will say this, when we've watched previous fights with him, I did notice chinks in the armor, that there's certain times where it's like, okay, this could be the momentum shift that his opponent needed to beat him, but he always fought back. He always got back to it.
We always seen him come back.
Never let it affect him.
I mean, we've seen him all get clipped before, but he didn't go down. We've seen him get into a couple scary situations, but he didn't lose any of those fights. And
very true.
So
and that's why I was like, ooh,
I mean, he's not invincible.
I had a feeling the time was coming.
Someone was going to catch him.
Yeah.
I just thought it would be a fist.
He got caught.
Yeah, I thought it would be a fist.
I don't know if I expected it in this fight, but clearly this was the fight that it happened in.
I don't think anyone expected that, but I don't think anyone really paid that close attention to Leon Edwards. So I think that might be why. But I can't believe I saw that. I was sad and really shocked. I'm like, oh man.
I was too.
So he's just one of those guys that I just wanted to see keep his belt, you know.
Now I'm wondering, who does Leon Edwards defend against in his first defense? Do they automatically run back for the trilogy? Or do you wait, give him a defense to let Usman, you know, get back his bearings and get back to
I think it would depend on Leon Edwards how fast he wants to come back, because I think Kamaru Usman, I don't know if he said when he wanted to come back. I think he needs time. Of course he needs time. I mean,
I'm pretty sure there's certain, because he got kicked in the head, there's certain protocols.
Well, it's not going to be within the first 6 months. That's for sure. No. You know, so I think next year, maybe around this time next year, maybe a year. And I don't know.
I actually like to see Edwards defend.
That's up to him. If he wants to, then
no, you're right. You're right. But this is what I would like to see. I'd like to see him defend and then go on to Usman, just to almost like legitimacy.
Well, I think Usman can come back whenever he wants. That's what I think.
So. Yeah, as soon as his medical stuff clears, I'm pretty sure he'll get right back in.
I don't know how bad it was. I don't know if he broke his jaw or anything like that, but I don't know.
I don't recall hearing anything about that.
I didn't hear anything about that either.
But that will definitely be interesting to see as it pertains to what happens now. And then following that on that fight card, we had Paulo Costa versus Luke Rockhold. This was Luke Rockhold's last fight because he ended up retiring after this. He lost by a decision to Paulo Costa. Costa, like, that was interesting. Did you hear about what happened with his drug testing?
Oh, that was really messed up. Yeah.
That was. So from what I got from it, USADA, the people that drug test the UFC fighters, they kind of show up whenever. It's completely at random, and they happen to show up at his door the day of weigh-ins.
Yeah, that's terrible. I don't blame them for testing him. That's cool. Go for it. But I think the time frame, I don't think was
just
necessary.
Bad timing.
Well, I don't think it was necessary.
I mean, you've cut weight before.
Yeah. You don't want to.
You're pretty dehydrated. So
you want to hang on to all those fluids.
Not a lot of fluids coming out of you.
Yeah, but also
it's just ridiculous.
You're already feeling like you want to faint, and then they're going to go take blood. Are you serious?
Or you're super aggro because you're like, you haven't had what you're used to. You haven't.
Or you need sleep at least. At least
you're ready to kick someone in the head.
Like if you're going to be on weight, what else do you got left to do besides rest? Because you're going to be exhausted. But what's interesting and really messed up is like, why would you need to do it that day at that time when the results are not going to differ if you would have either waited or done it well before? Like you could have done it a week before, and I believe the results would have came out the same whether he was doing anything or not.
Yeah, because it's completely at random.
I mean, you should at least. I mean, you could do it before you start cutting weight that week. I don't think the results.
Honestly, I think they should have waited till after weigh-ins because then he could rehydrate.
How about right after the fight? You know,
or that.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? You won. Now we need to test you.
Yeah, that's fine. Or you can even wait that very next day. I think the results would still be the same because whatever amount of steroid, if you were on it, I don't think it would be, for one, enough to win, and two, you know, I don't know. I was messed up, and even Dana was like, "That's fucked up."
I want to know if they have somebody there. Like, did they fly them to the event? Because this event was at Salt Lake City. So did they have somebody already in Salt Lake City, or did they fly them in?
Because I want to say there was a guy there.
I want to work for him because I want to fly to all these places and be like, "Excuse me, Mr. Costa, can you pee in this cup for me? Thanks, man. I'm from USADA. Here's the stuff."
Yeah.
Can I get a selfie? And then the pee cup.
Do you think maybe they thought they were doing the right thing by doing that?
Well, I feel like because it's at random and that's their responsibility. The people that went to him at that time were literally just doing their job. But what sucks is there was no thought. It seems like to me that there was no thought about, hey, this is what's going on. This is fight time. This is not weeks out from the fight. This, like, put the pause on it. Hold on. Do it. Honestly, they should do it after weigh-ins because then they can rehydrate and get back to normal, at least some type of normal before going into a fight.
Yeah.
That's my idea. But in the morning, the day of weigh-ins, ooh.
Yeah, do you think the UFC has any say of like, hey, don't do that to my guys ever again? Or are they completely separate?
Well, I know Dana White wasn't happy and apologized to Costa. And I feel like he will probably say something. And it probably does hold a bit of weight because that's the most noted. The USADA is most noted for drug testing in the UFC. They could drug test in other sports, but we don't hear about that.
I know.
We hear about it in
I was
the
just
UFC.
about to ask that. I'm like, what sports are they as USADA specifically in charge of?
That I really have no idea. I just know they are heavily connected with UFC the most. I don't know if Bellator has USADA also, or if they have a different drug testing company.
Do they even drug test?
To my knowledge, they do. It's a commission thing, so I feel like they would.
Okay, I just never hear about Bellator or USADA or Bellator in any.
That's true.
Testing. Yeah, I would imagine they do. I just don't hear about it.
Positive for anything in Bellator.
You never hear about that either. It's yeah, okay.
Suspect.
I don't know. I think. Well, I mean, regardless, I'm glad the UFC does because it's a little more legit. Of course, you get those guys that'll figure it out and get away with it. But at the weigh-in, I saw the weigh-in, and he was very, for as big as that guy gets outside of training, he gets very skinny. Not skinny, but he's
cutting that weight for middleweight. He probably walks around like a light heavy.
Oh, he's over 200, I think. When he walks around.
That's why I'm just kind of guessing.
I don't know. I've seen him like sitting in the stands at other UFC fights when he's not fighting, and he's so puffy and huge. So I would over 200, I would assume. So that's why when he weighed in, I'm like, oh, he is really cut up, but he got down pretty small.
Maybe he does the Patty Pimblett and just is like, I won. Time for pizza.
I don't know. I just think in his off time, he really
goes for it.
Bloated. He just looked very bloated the last time I saw him.
A lot of salt.
Salt, yeah.
Now for Rockhold, last thing with Costa in that fight, he didn't appreciate it when Luke Rockhold smeared his blood on him.
I thought that was strange.
I thought it was savage. I liked it. I'm just.
That was really gross, and
I'm nutty like that.
Weird.
Yeah, he could get.
It was weird.
You could give him hepatitis, but I mean, he wouldn't be fighting if he had hepatitis.
He wouldn't. Yeah, he wouldn't.
He wouldn't be allowed to fight if he had hepatitis.
Right.
But that was Luke Rockhold's last fight. He retired after that, and
yeah,
I mean, he brought us some wars, and with previous competition. When he went to UFC, he was good, but I don't feel like he was what he was as compared to, I believe, Strikeforce.
Oh no, yeah. Definitely not. I didn't even know he was still fighting until I saw his name on the fight card.
Because I feel like he had a really long layoff.
Okay, he had a really long layoff, but even before this layoff, he wasn't doing that great.
True, I'll give you that. And then when you look at the fight stats, Paulo Costa performed really well in the fight.
Yeah, I only remember that fight with Bisping that he had where he got knocked out. So even
by that time, I believe Bisping had one eye.
Yeah, of course. He's had one eye. He had one eye for a very long time.
A long time.
Yeah, just got away with it.
Yeah. But that was the end of that fight. And then Jose Aldo lost a decision.
Yeah.
It's like we talked about. What Jose Aldo are we going to get? I mean, he's been competing forever. Are we going to get like phenomenal Jose Aldo of old, or are we gonna get Jose Aldo that's he's here, he's gonna fight?
Well, lately he's been a monster, so I was really interested in this one.
Yeah, that's that. Which one are we gonna get?
I mean, he wasn't terrible, obviously, but because we've seen him get knocked out and finished and all that. I don't know what's next for that guy though. Wonder what he's thinking. He is number 3 though, so. He's still up there.
He's just going to probably slide down the rankings.
Still maybe compete, of course. Because if he would have won this fight, he definitely, I think he was in line for the title if he had won.
I feel like he would have been. If he would have won this fight, he would have definitely been within title contention.
I think that's what he said, yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see what happens to him from here. And then we have this Saturday coming up, tomorrow, Fight Night. And it takes place in the middle of the day because it's happening in Paris, France. With I don't know where Cyril Gahn is from, but it says he's from France, so I imagine that's his like the hometown favorite. And he's competing against Tai Tuivasa, number 1 versus number 3 in the heavyweight division.
That's crazy.
I mean, I feel like Gahn's gonna win, but I want to see Tai Tuivasa knock him out so he could drink out of a shoe.
Yeah, I just want to. I like seeing Tai Tuivasa get his knockouts. They're usually very exciting. Cyril Gahn's good too. He's kind of a huge monster. I I don't know how this one's going to go. I think it might be a bit of a wild fight.
I don't know. I don't
that's
see
Tuivasa style, though.
It is, but I see Tai Tuivasa getting tired in later rounds and Gane outlasting him to a decision.
Gane is in shape, heavyweight. So
and that's how I see that fight going. He's just going to wear him out and then either finally get him knocked out, submitted, or just get the decision win.
But when you engage with Tai Tuivasa, who knows what's going to happen? Someone
he's a tough dude.
Yeah, but he comes out of the gate swinging, though. Like, once you get in close and he starts swinging, someone's getting hit, and someone's getting hit hard. You just don't know if they're going to go down or not. And I know Sarah Gane sometimes likes to get involved with those brawls, so I'm hoping that's what happens.
And then the other fight of interest in this card is Robert Whittaker versus Marvin Vettori.
You know, how is Robert Whittaker? Did it say he was number 1 still?
Ranked number 1, yes. Okay. And he's coming off a loss of his last fight because I believe that was the title fight.
I don't even remember that. I'll be honest. Who did he fight?
Well, middleweight, so he fought Stylebender.
How long ago was that, man? That seems forever ago.
You know what?
I feel like Whittaker is very inactive.
I feel like a lot of fighters are very inactive, but that's just there's so many fighters on the roster that pretty much like, okay, it's your turn to fight. And so it seems like they almost fight maybe twice a year now.
I know, but Whittaker, no one even talks about him anymore. I'm surprised. Why? I don't know. Marvin Vettori.
Yeah, his last fight was in February against Adesanya, and he lost a decision.
Weird. I don't remember that, but although that's a long time ago, though. And I think even before that, it was a long time before he fought.
Yeah, it does seem
I've lost interest in Robert Whittaker because I feel like he's always floating up there at the top, and then when he gets a chance, nothing, injured, out, has to pull out because of, he's had health issues. I just lost interest in that guy a while ago. But Marvin Vettori, didn't he already have a title run, Marvin Vettori? He already fought.
I want to say he fought for the belt. Adesanya's been doing a good job of just laying waste.
Yeah. Marvin Vettori, I don't know, man. I'm same situation with him. He's definitely more active. I feel like we've kind of already seen a lot of what he has to offer, unless he's gotten better or if something changed. I don't know. I would like to see what happens with this fight, although I'm almost like, Stylebender, though, That's his
and
that's
these guys have actually never fought against each other, which I'm kind of surprised by.
Well, when Robert Whittaker doesn't fight that much, you only get so many options with him, I guess. So we'll see what happens with this one. I would like to see more action with this weight class, though.
Hopefully, that'd be nice. I feel like because of Vettori, I feel like he's just going to shoot. He's just going to try to out-wrestle him.
Well, we'll see. I don't know. This will be interesting. I would like to be surprised with this one.
I'd like to see Whittaker knock him out.
That would be cool. That might get me back on board with Whittaker.
Yeah. So that's the two more important fights on the UFC Fight Night card this coming Saturday. And it's on early. According to this, it's on 12 p.m. I'm not sure if that's Pacific Standard Time for the PDT, but look for it in your local listings. Now, let's go ahead and move on through the UFC. Actually, we're going to stay away from the UFC and talk about one of our favorite female fighters, Kayla Harrison, and how she has dubbed herself officially the queen of women's MMA.
Well, I think she's the queen of PFL, of MMA. You can't say that unless you've fought in other organizations, I think.
I do feel like she is a dominant presence, of course, in PFL.
Of course.
But I feel like there's two people ahead of her.
Yeah.
Amanda Nunes, Cyborg, And this is ideally when I say that, it's women that are closer to Harrison's weight class than anything else.
Yeah.
Because it's not like I could say some of the other female fighters that are like 100 pounds soaking wet. That's not competition for her.
That's different.
These two are closer in range to actually have a fight with her.
Well, it's actually possible to happen.
Exactly. And so do I think she's the queen? I think she's third right now, third in line, because how she dominates in the PFL, but that's PFL.
That's what I'm saying. She can call herself whatever she wants. She is definitely the queen of PFL. Of MMA, I don't know. You gotta fight some other fighters, especially ones that are your size that can actually be competitive, aside from the girls that she does fight that nobody knows who they are at all. So I don't know. She can call herself whatever she wants. She's been on top forever, but she's also only been there. So I don't know. It's really hard to say. I would like to see her have a promotion crossover, but no one's taken up on that offer yet. So
well, we'll also see if this is her last run with PFL. There's been mention of that.
I thought her last run was the last one because they were always talking.
Right. I mean, I guess we'll see, because if she doesn't get the contract she wants, she could probably just go right back into PFL, bank another $1 million, or actually, after taxes and fees, another 6 figures.
But that's more than what anybody else is really getting paid. And it would be smart to stay there. I don't know what their contracts are like with PFL, if she can go have a fight somewhere else and then come back, or, I don't know.
I feel like it's just for that stretch of the tournament.
That's fine. That's logical. Yeah. Well, it's up to her. But I think she needs to fight other girls that people would actually be interested in watching and would be competitive for her. Until then, whatever, you can call yourself whatever you want, I guess. True.
I'm the king of the white belts. No, I'm really not. I'd get mopped up. Like, I'm not afraid to admit that. All right. Conor McGregor's manager had some things to say about his return. Roadhouse movie won't affect Conor McGregor's comeback. Still on track for big return next year. Now, of course, we all know Conor McGregor sells fights. He sells tickets. He's a draw. And are we excited to see him come back? Are we on him?
I think I am always excited to see him when he actually fights. I think it's good. I don't know about how he's going to do. We've all seen him lost before, so it's kind of like, whatever.
Now, do you think he'll be the same? Because he's coming back from his leg break.
Is that what happened? He didn't come back after that? That was his last fight?
His TKO loss to Dustin Poirier in 2021 was because of a leg break he suffered.
Okay. That was a long time ago.
So he should be healed now, and he's going to be shooting a movie, so there's still more time. But that, it's a situation of an injury. That being injured could cause him to rethink his style and the way that he fights, because he doesn't want it to happen again.
He might do different tactics, and maybe he'll baby it a little more. I don't know. You never know. It would be, I don't know. Like I said, we've seen him lose before, so once that happens, when someone's on top like that, and then you see him lose a couple times, it's like, well, okay, now you're human, like, everybody else, I guess. He does start a lot of drama, so he has that attention, and everyone's liked him since the beginning.
Yeah, he could sell a fight. There's no doubt.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have fallen off board of like, oh, you're gonna get fucked up by him, but it's like maybe not, because Nate Diaz submitted him a while back.
Yeah.
Khabib.
Khabib was a different monster, though. Nobody could handle Khabib.
Okay, but Conor, people,
because Khabib wrestled bears, Conor. Like, duh.
I don't know. Since I've seen him lose a few times, I'm like, I mean, he's very interesting to watch. Of course, I'll watch it. But it's like, as far as him winning, I don't really care because I think he's just going to, when he's done, he's just going to go do movies, go do his business, whatever.
Which is great that he's expanded in that way, that he is given that option now. He has such notoriety that he's like, I don't have to really fight anymore. He fights because he loves it, but he can go do other things. His shelf life is extended now, not in the world of fighting, but in the world of entertainment because of his notoriety from fighting.
Well, that's fine. I just, in the fight world, I'm more interested in the fighting, you know. That's great. He can go do all that stuff. As far as his fighting legacy goes, I think that's kind of maybe over, and now he just comes back for fun, you know, like you said. I don't know. I think everyone likes to watch him. But as far as like, you know how people used to say, oh, you fight Conor, you're fucked. Like, you're going to lose, blah, blah, blah. Now it's like, well, maybe not. It might be a really close fight.
Now, here's what I'm wondering about as a fan of the original Roadhouse, on and on Blu-ray. Love it. It's a great film. I'm curious as to what kind of character he's going to be playing. Is he going to be playing a henchman to the bad guy? Or is it going to be, okay, you've seen Fast and the Furious, yes? So Ja Rule
all 100 of them.
Yeah, right. Ja Rule was on like the main title card of being in this film. And
he was?
Yeah.
Why?
He was like a selling point as a part of like the cast. And yet when you saw him, he comes up, he gets in a car, like he talks smack to Paul Walker because he's like, oh,
you're talking about Fast and the Furious. Yeah,
the first one. Because it's the only one he was in. And then he gets to grope this chick, and she's like, if you win, you get my friend too.
Yeah.
And he loses, and he's, oh, Monica. And
that was it.
That was it for him.
Yeah.
No more Ja Rule. Yeah, this dude got like a title card in the movie, like he was going to be in it for a long period of time. Another prime example, DMX in the movie Romeo Must Die. Everyone knows I'm a huge movie buff, so I can go through this for days.
I've heard of that movie. I've never seen it.
I'm a Jet Li fan, so I've seen like everything he's done. So it says DMX. He's like even plastered on the poster.
Oh no.
And yet he comes in, he's just the owner of a club, and he's all like 2 lines. That was it. I'm curious as to the role that Conor will be playing. Will he be playing a character? Will he essentially just be himself? I want to know what we're gonna get.
I don't know what kind of actor he is.
Fight side,
depends if he's good or not.
It's true. But back on the fight side, I look forward to him coming back and fighting because he is a draw. He sells tickets. He makes a fight. He gives that build to a fight that a fighter should.
I don't see him as an actor.
No. It's like Ronda Rousey in one of the later Fast and Furious movies. She couldn't act out of a paper bag.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I'm not big on the MMA fighters doing movies. If you're an actor, you're an actor. If you're a fighter, good fighter, maybe.
Now, what do you think about Michael Bisping being in action movies?
Which ones has he been in?
He's been in some cheesy ones because I own them.
Yeah.
He was in Triple X.
He was?
Yeah, the Return of Xander Cage, I believe what it's called. He's been in some stuff, and Den of Thieves. I want to say he was in that.
Oh, he was.
If he wasn't in Den of Thieves, a lot of other fighters were actually in it and did a fantastic job.
Okay, I saw that movie, and wasn't Tyron Woodley in that one?
I believe so. It had quite a few fighters in it, and it was good. It was entertaining.
Yeah, I like that movie. I've seen it a few times. Yeah. It's good. I like that other
There's also let's see. I want to say Igor Volchanshin was in a film, but he only had 2 lines, and he was playing a Ukrainian dude, so it's not like it was far-fetched.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What's Conor McGregor going to do in this movie?
That's why I'm curious. And then Oleg Taktarov. Older UFC fighter.
Yeah.
He went right into movies after competing, and he's done fantastic. He's great. Mm-hmm. So Conor does have that that notoriety that he can be in these things now. But will it be any good remains the question. And when he comes back, what will he look like from coming back from a broken leg?
I think his leg's probably fine, absolutely fine by now.
Well, according to this manager, he's still healing, but he still works out.
What? Hasn't it been a very long time?
July of 21. Yeah, over a year. So we'll see.
Yeah, I see that, I guess. I've hurt my knee and it's been messed up ever since for years and years and years. But that was a ligament issue. So
all right.
I don't know. I figured a bone would heal and be fine faster, but I don't know.
That was not the case.
He probably hasn't been resting either. He's doing movies, I guess. So
maybe he rolls around on like a wheelchair. Maybe he has a little scoot.
Maybe.
Whee! All right. Now in Bareknuckle news, I was quite what's the word I'm looking for? Not disappointed. I was kind of blown away that Mike Perry outlasted Michael Page.
Well, and I didn't see the fight, but
I didn't either.
Hearing the results, I'm like, oh, maybe it was a lame fight. I don't know.
Well, it went the distance, and then they drew. The judges scored the fight a split draw, and so because of that, they have to go to a sixth and final overtime round. And that's only happened. That was only the second time that it happened in the promotion's 4-year history.
Wow, isn't that their only history?
That's true.
Their whole history.
But I was kind of expecting more from Michael Page, I guess. Not necessarily knock him out, but I kind of expected him to edge out in a decision. But it does make sense that Mike Perry would get the win because Mike Perry has more experience competing in Bareknuckle.
Yes, that's true. You know, this was MVP's first Bareknuckle fight. Wonder if it wasn't what he thought it was going to be.
He doesn't look too worse for wear, but Mike Perry sure does.
He always looks like that.
even when he's not fighting, he's just
That's
blood. Just
Saturday for him.
Hey, everybody.
That's a weekend.
Right. That's him after he leaves the bar.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's over because MVP will be going back to Bellator, going back to MMA to compete. This just seemed to be on loan, just a one-time thing because they were competing overseas. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It sucks. I know Bellator was kind of probably thinking like, fuck.
Yeah.
Lost. I mean, that's what happened when they had Pride versus UFC. They brought him over there in 2003. They brought over Chuck Liddell, and Chuck Liddell seemed to clean house on a lot of these guys, but then got into the later rounds and then got demolished.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I don't know. I wish I would have heard more about this fight, but it is what it is, I guess.
Very true. And also, I mean, we probably didn't hear much about it because it wasn't such a devastating finish. It was just kind of
a decision. Yeah.
That's cool. All right. And then, of course, lastly, we're going to go ahead and discuss, or just mention, I should say, 559 Fights. If you're in Central California, which is where we happen to be located, they have events every month. And their next fight will be at the end of September at Valley Strong Ballpark. It's a beautiful ballpark. And they do a good job of hosting fights there. So go ahead and go check it out. And for other things that are going on locally in Central California, we have the ticker at the bottom that tells you. I believe there's also a Valley Fight Series. It's an amateur promotion that's in Reedley. I believe they are also having fights, and that will be tomorrow night. So I really don't hear from them. I've reached out because I'd like to bring the promoter and maybe some of the fighters on the show. So wink, wink. Let me know. We'll bring you on. We like guests. It's not a problem. Yeah. So that's going to be going on later in September. So, of course, we'll talk about that a little bit more later on in September. But there's local stuff going on. Thank God. Of course, there's also stuff on TV tonight. One Championship. tomorrow UFC, and then I believe Bellator's back next month. So lots to do. Check out. Do you got anything else? Is there anything else that you think we missed?
Don't think so.
All right. That's going to do it for us here at the MMA Mainstream Podcast, brought to you by MMA Fight Pass. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys next time.